Hello. Long-time listener, first-time caller, as it were.
Long-time caller, not first-time hearer.
I see that too. So my question is, I am in a huge transition right now.
Good.
And I feel like my past programming and my past belief system has been fighting for its survival.
We like the fact that you used such a strong word, and it really fits in nicely here. We're going to talk really short, and then we'll leave it to you. But we just want to follow up on something that you just said about being programmed, because let's say something happened 20 years ago. So it happened, and you had a response to it, and you launched rockets of desire that are in your vortex, that are serving you, that are calling you, in fact. And if once that happened, you had known about satisfaction and you had spent very little time focusing on what happened or explaining it to anybody else or justifying it or defending it, then the vibration of it would not have come forward 19 years, 18 years, 17, 16, 15, 14, yesterday and today. It wouldn't be active today if you had not renewed it with your continuous thought. So beliefs don't just stick with you, you keep them going by your attention to them. And so programming is all self-done, and it is done in minuscule ways all day, every day, by being willing to endure less than satisfying thoughts. That's all. Programming is, we're going to be really blunt with you about this. You're going to like this or not. You're probably not going to like this, but we really like this. Programming is, we love you so much because you're lazy. Too lazy to reach for satisfaction as compared to dissatisfaction when it was easy to do. Now, later on, it's not easy to do. Later on, you call it programming because you think, I sure wouldn't be thinking these thoughts. These thoughts don't feel good to me. I just can't not think these thoughts. But you could have caught it early on. And today, you can cease the continuation of that programming, and it won't be 30 or 40 days down the road, and that programming will cease to be because you haven't renewed it lately. Does that make sense to you? Oh, those around you will want to renew it. You go home for a family reunion, oh, they all remember.
Yeah. My question is really around, I've noticed what I call it my ego or the past programming. I've been doing a fairly good job.
We like your ego. Use your ego to find satisfaction. Let's call ego attention, focus. Let's not make ego a bad thing. Ego is your conscious mind. It's only when you don't direct it productively that you want to call it a negative thing. My ego has programmed me.
Well, what I've noticed is having quit my job and putting all my focus on my new business, and then the logical mind is, well, how are you going to pay your bills and all that? When I'm conscious, I do a good job of redirecting my focus. But what I've noticed is for at least a week, when I wake up in the morning, it's like as I come back into my body, my past programming, my ego takes that moment to jump back in. So I wake up in like a panic.
It's logical because it's still active. And so when you awaken back into that. It's logical. But you could wake up and brush your teeth and get something to drink and meditate for 15 or 20 minutes and allow your vibration to raise. And you could stop that. So tomorrow it'll be a little less, and the next day a little less, till it's not long before you wake up and you feel more satisfaction than worry. It doesn't take much. It just takes an understanding of the plan or the path or what's causing it to begin with. Maybe you quit your job too soon. Maybe. Yeah, for sure. But it's like one day Jerry and Esther were driving in Orlando. They had a new navigational system, and Esther was so excited about it. Jerry wasn't, because Jerry had been the previous navigator for all the years, and now Magellan is in the car, and Jerry felt competition with Magellan. And Esther loved Magellan, so she would program Magellan, and then she would listen to Magellan instead of Jerry. And so there was this little thing going on in advance. And so one day they're in Orlando, and Jerry's got this silly grin on his face, and he said, you know, we're going in exactly the opposite direction that we should be going. And Esther said, oh, that can't possibly be. I did everything that Magellan said to do. And Jerry said, well, I'm just saying, we're going in the opposite direction. So Esther realized it. She saw the compass on the car and realized, and then she wondered, did I take a wrong turn? Was the programming wrong? Did I misunderstand something? Did I not follow the map in the right way? And so she said to Jerry, I know what we should do. Let's go back to where we originally started, start the programming again, and we'll watch real close to see what went wrong. And Jerry said, or we could just start from right where we are and go where we want to go. And so, isn't that nice? You don't have to explain anything, because the good news is, from wherever you stand, you have created more asking that is calling you. We're just going to ask you some questions. We're going to just make a few statements that we're getting from your vibration and from ours. And we just want you to answer the simple question, is that a satisfying thought or a not satisfying thought? I shouldn't have quit my job so soon. Satisfying. So therefore, not something to encourage. Things are working out for me.
Satisfying.
Sometimes things work out for me faster than others.
Satisfying.
I'm not in any real big hurry about this.
That could go either way.
I don't have to be in a big hurry.
That's satisfying.
I have a feeling of urgency.
That's not satisfying.
It's going to be okay.
That's satisfying.
Things are opening up.
Satisfying.
I've got a pretty good handle on this.
Satisfying.
Sometimes I get tuned in and I know exactly what to do.
Very satisfying.
I can feel I have clarity about this.
Satisfying.
I'm glad I made the decision.
Satisfying.
I know I'm on the right path.
Satisfying.
It is getting increasingly better. It's not getting better fast enough.
Not satisfying.
So we're not asking you what's true or not true. We're asking you what lines up with what you want and what doesn't line up with what you want. So it doesn't take very much before, when you wake up, that discomfort isn't there, because you have activated some momentum that will carry you. And the more you do that, the more in the receiving mode you are. The more in the receiving mode you are, you know what the receiving mode provides most significantly? The most obvious thing that a pretty consistent relationship with the receiving mode provides you: timing. Good timing. Right place, right time. And by timing, we mean rendezvousing with ideas, rendezvousing with emotions, rendezvousing with other people, rendezvousing with past really good experiences. Timing is the rendezvous factor, and receiving mode is the reason for that. Want to talk more?
Yeah, my initial question was, is there a way for me as I go to sleep, or can I set up so I don't wake up in a panic, or so I can basically set myself up?
Well, just know that it'll get better every day. If you lie in your bed and say tomorrow will be better than today, you got nowhere. But if you lie there for a little bit and you sort of count your blessings, so to speak, as long as you're not faking it, then you will feel better when you wake up in the morning. You could lie in your bed and go through a list of things that were satisfying, and each day you have more satisfying thoughts, then you'll have more of those satisfying things to contemplate. But really, here's something that most people don't realize. When you go to sleep, momentum does subside. And the only reason that you get off on the wrong foot, so to speak, first thing in the morning, is because that's your habit. And it won't take very much, really not very much, for the habit to get off on the right foot. Esther's first thought usually is, where am I and what am I doing today? She'll think, is this a seminar day? Is this a fly day? What am I doing today? Because the night sort of quieted everything. And then in the new beginning, it's kind of nice to be reoriented. Yeah.
I think that's it.
Really good. Really good. Yeah.